Bills lead the league in punt return yardage. Now we just gotta get some punts. That should be easy. We got good D. Let's go Bills on 3. Hot, hot, ah!
Let's go Bills! Let's go Bills! Bills! Let's go Bills! Let's go Bills! Let's go Bills! Bills!
So we're 2 and 3. Yeah, it's kinda scary, the invisible nature of our young secondary. But I'm here to promise, yeah, it's easy to see that right there in the roster is Terrence McGee, Sean Powell.
Bills fans, you there? It's another week and our amazing edition of our Bills Talk show. We have Brandon here again because he is the man. And this week, it's Arizona. Last week, Arizona, they lost. They did not win. They lost 17-3. Poor performance by them in St. Louis. Well, wasn't a pretty week last week in San Francisco. And let's talk a little about that. Let's not go too into detail because, well, it wasn't a pretty game. Brandon, you can start off talking about
Well,
that.
first off, it was embarrassing. It was blasphemous. It was awful. I had to work on the same day, and it was awful. It was just terrible. The defense is bad. It's just not a good football team right now. And, maybe they can turn it around like they did, like they turned it around, but in a bad way last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have the Yankees to turn around last Sunday, so that's good for you. But me and my brother before the game were having bets to see when we would turn off the TV. Now, going into the game, I was just like, that's not going to happen. We're going to keep this a close game. It's going to be a good game. And, it was a good game. It was a very good game for San Francisco. Going into it, I was talking about how Vernon Davis, Michael Crabtree were going to have field days on us, and they did. No coverage.
San Francisco is big time. They went to the NFC Championship game, but I mean to just get over 600 yards. I mean that is
they broke a record. They broke I forgot what record they broke, but it was a record that a Bills fan doesn't want to be broken. Alex Smith, we made look like an absolute all-time Hall of Famer quarterback, which he is definitely not. I just want to say, it was embarrassing, like you said earlier. It was.
Oh yeah, and it was awful. And I feel if there's one guy out of the whole 52-man roster that I have to feel for, it is Stevie Johnson. I mean, the man re-signed a contract to stay here, thinking about good things that are happening to this franchise. And 2 weeks ago against New England, he had 2 catches. I know I think he had more than 2, but they are just not getting him involved in this offense. And he's open. It's not like he's getting double covers. It's not like people. Teams are covering him away, taking him away from the game. But I mean, you gotta feel for a guy like Stevie Johnson who puts all the work in and puts his heart out on the field.
He wants to win. He wants this team. He wants this team to win, and it doesn't look like anyone else wants to when they step on the field.
And he believes in this team, and he believes in the city. He's always pumped about game day, and not that all the other players aren't, but he has a special connection with the fans.
Yep. It just need more players like that. I mean, a player that just wants to win, who's going to try their hardest every game. But last 2 weeks, it seems like, once the Bills started to fall down against the Patriots, it seemed like most of the roster just wanted to sit the bench the whole game. They didn't even want to go on the field anymore. And it was just like, are you serious? You're getting paid how much money to just sit on your ass basically the whole game? It's really ridiculous. I don't have a problem sometimes with a player having a bad game, but when it's consistently and you're getting paid millions of dollars for it, that just irritates me to I don't know, it's skyward.
And getting, maybe this is kind of off topic, but when Castle went down last week. Basically, the Chiefs fans cheered, and a lot of people asked me, well, what would you do if that was Ryan Fitzpatrick? And I wouldn't cheer. He's a human being.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this is just a game.
Yeah.
Ryan Fitzpatrick is a human. He is a person. He's a great person. He has 3 kids and a wife. You don't want to see anyone get hurt. Just like when even a guy like Tom Brady, if he got hurt in any way, I wouldn't cheer.
Yeah.
But, these are human beings going out and playing the game.
And it sucks when people have that mentality toward a football game. Like, they go to that extent to cheer when a person gets injured, or that's awful. But when people are like, just throw Fitzpatrick out of the game, well, sadly enough, he's right now our best quarterback, and I feel like he should be playing better right now. This is not a Ryan Fitzpatrick football that he's playing right now, but
to be honest, I thought in 2010 he was actually doing better in 2010. I mean, we saw it. We saw it in person in Baltimore.
Yeah,
we went to Baltimore. He lit up the Ravens.
Yeah,
he lit them up. He hit Lee Evans a couple times on a couple bombs. Stevie Johnson. He lit them up. Even in New England, I think it was Week 3 in 2010. He lit them up. I'm sorry. He was way better in 2010 than he is right now.
And I mean, I don't know what it is. I mean, what it could possibly be, but I don't know if he just
I think the new quarterback coach could have an effect. I really don't see anything different in his throwing technique.
Yeah. But
there is something definitely different. If we had the Fitzpatrick that we had 2 years ago, we might actually be at least 3-2.
And his decision making is just really I question what he's thinking when he's on that field, because it's like what
I don't know if it's necessarily the thinking. I think it's how he can throw. Because if he would have, sometimes he underthrows, he overthrows. I don't think it's definitely the decision making. I just think how he throws the ball, how he tries to put it in. Because when he throws, it's either way off or way underthrown.
And to some extent, I'm gonna a quarterback's gonna have a bad throw now and then, but sometimes I'm gonna go back to the first week of the season. One of his first throws, it was the third down play action fake. He had Chandler wide open, 10 yards downfield, and hesitated to throw. And then when he did throw, it was 5 yards underthrown. And just little things like that can change a whole game. And I don't know. Hopefully they worked on that. I feel like they got to work more on the short passes with him. Too many times he hits the ground.
I hate bringing up past seasons, but take a look at last year. They started off 3-0. What did they do? They went to those short passes. Look in they played the Patriots Week 4. He hit Donald Jones on that little slant. All you have to do is those short, quick little passes and let your playmakers make the plays.
That's how this Bills team is gonna dominate in the passing game, especially with T.J. Graham, and Stevie Johnson can get open in those short little routes.
And we saw it. You put Scott Chandler, the tight end, in the slot, in the shotgun. Mm-hmm. He's deadly.
He's a force.
He's a deadly force. I think you put it last week. Scott Chandler is a beast, and he is.
And I feel like 9 minutes is enough. Enough of that topic. Let's move on to this week, because all right, the past is the past. Let's go on to this week. What and basically going into this week, it's basically the same thing we're basically gonna say, because when we went into last week, it's got to be pass rush, better coverage, and they didn't do that last game. Let's just say that. So Kevin Cobb, not as good as a quarterback as Alex Smith, but you give him that much time to throw the ball, and you give him a wide receiver that's not covered, he's gonna look like a Hall of Famer too, especially with Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald's big time, boy. He is big time. He's gonna be a Hall of Famer, first ballot. This guy is. He's big. He's big time.
I just think you can't let him make big plays early because, well, I mean, at all. But I mean, if you give him like first drive, a great touchdown pass, I think that's just like team killer right away off the bat.
And I don't mean to knock him, but Aaron Williams, he can't play cornerback in this league. I mean, he doesn't know how to turn around. He's very, to me, he's very inconsistent. Sometimes he turns around, sometimes he doesn't. I think it was him that got burned by Mario Manningham last week. I mean, maybe he could be better as a safety. Calvin Shepard as well. I know these guys are just in year 2.
Yeah.
But they should be improving.
Yeah.
If they're only in their second year, but they're not. I think, in my opinion, they're getting worse. Calvin Shepard had a couple of good first weeks, but now he's getting off tail.
I'm wondering if it's like 60%, 70% the coaching on this, because like it baffles me that someone can play great in college at cornerback and then they come to the NFL and not even show like they played quarterback once in their life. It's like we got them off the street.
Calvin Shepard went big time. He went to LSU, SEC. They play defense.
Yeah.
In the SEC, they play big time defense.
Let's get ourselves a nice SEC defensive coordinator. I like that. Let's get one of those guys, because Dave Wanstead, I don't know what you're doing, and it's not like he made bad moves in the offseason. It's just like, what are you teaching these guys? Like, what's going on in those practices over there? Because I don't know if you're playing defensive football over there. It's a sight to see though. The Bills' defensive core, they're not very good.
Oh yeah, and I think the number one main thing is putting pressure. They haven't done that. that was the big thing that they were trying to improve, and it's not there.
That was the talk. You get like that is like one of the biggest things is the pressure, because
it's a disappointment. Mark Anderson's going to be out indefinitely. Yeah. That hurts. That hurts.
Well, it's such a big part to defense, the pressure, and we get almost none in the last couple of games, and it shows up on the scoreboard. What happens when the defensive line doesn't play how they should? And I hope it knocked them through their head last week. The third 40-point game that they let up? That, what the hell are you doing? Start playing freaking football. What you're getting paid to do, $100 million. Play your job. Do your job out there.
Yeah, and I think with Mario, I think he has some kind of injury. I think with his wrist. I don't know, something that has to do with his hand. That could be affecting him, but he should have way more than 1.5 sacks through 5 games.
And again, like we said this last week, people are worried about that sack number, and it's not even that. Tom Brady, the 2 times we got pressure, he threw a terrible pass. The times that I watched last week, we didn't get pressure, and Alex Smith looks like a Hall of Famer. So that one little pass rush that you get, that might not show up on the sack or anything, the sack sheet, it makes a big difference in a play. It makes a big difference. It could lead to a 3-and-out drive. It could lead to a turnover. You never know. Just small things like that.
Oh yeah. Anything to get the quarterback out of rhythm, definitely.
And I think Kevin Cobb, I think that's a great way to get started up on this rush. If you can get the rush in, I think we'll start to get that feeling.
Last Thursday they were in St. Louis. St. Louis brought the heat.
Oh yes.
They brought the heat, and I think Cobb got sacked 5 times or something. They scored 3 points. I know they were away and everything, but just put the pressure on him. And Cobb gets very finicky.
Yeah, he does. He'll throw like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. He'll throw a lot of Ryan Fitzpatrick throws once you get some pressure on him. And the Cardinals defense doesn't scare me if we play like we did in like last year in the first couple games, like how we said, the short passes. I feel like our offense can be an elite offense. It's just that I don't think we're playing our offense right, really. We're playing it all wrong right now, and we need to start working on that. I think a better flow of the offense, because it seems like we go on the field sometimes and we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what play is going to be called next, how to run that play effectively, and it just kind of looks like a whole puzzle that's not solved.
Yeah, I mean, run the ball. You have two great running backs. Run the ball. I mean, now they should be near healthy.
Yeah. What I want to see going into this week, I want to see the run game start off in the open a lot. And I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Then you can switch your game plan. But I mean, I think it's gonna work. Most likely, it will work. And I say you get that run game started, then for the rest of the game, you can basically, run their defense. Basically, play action fakes, then running the ball more. Running the ball is a huge thing that I think the Bills need to start working on a lot more in the beginning. Because if it doesn't work in the beginning, most likely you're not trying to run the ball later in the game when you're down 10, 17 points.
Oh yeah, and the offensive line, even though the injuries, they played big time last week. They did pretty well last week.
All right. Let's get on to the picks of this week, and I'm not even going to pick the Bills game because it seems like we have bad luck when we pick Bills games on here. So let's just get right to the other games that we feel like are gonna be. Let's go to the least one that we're gonna pick. The Cowboys at Ravens. You can do this one. I'm just gonna say Ravens. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, Ravens. They're big time at home. I think they won 13 straight. Can't really trust Romo.
NFC Conference Championship rematch. Giants at 49ers. Go ahead with this one.
I'm a big Eli fan.
Yes, you are.
I'm going Giants.
I'm going to go with Giants, too. I feel like it's going to be amazingly close. I feel like the Giants are going to put pressure on Alex Smith, and from last week, he's going to be like, what the hell is this? A pass rush? And he's going to fail miserably on it. So I'm going to pick Giants with this one. Packers at Texans. It took me a while to pick this one. Throughout the show, I was thinking about it because I want to see the Texans. I want to see the Texans go 6-0. I really do.
I think the Packers are going to get it done.
I agree. As much as I want them to go 6-0, I don't think it's going to happen. Not really much to say. How one team's going to win. It's going to be a great game, and I just think the Packers are going to pull off the victory.
It seems to me all the Sunday night games are very good.
Yeah, every night game so far.
And then some of the Monday night games are just terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think the best Monday night football game this year was probably Seahawks Packers.
Yeah.
Other than that, all Sunday night games are very close.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely and I've noticed a lot of the night games really haven't appealed to my attention. This one is one of the first actually. All the other ones really, I've just been like, oh, it's those teams, whatever. I feel like there should be more of a. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like you guys know what I mean.
So, we forgot to pick we might as well stay in the division. The Rams are in Miami. Who do you pick?
I'm going to pick the Dolphins with this one. I feel like they've been playing very well. Tannehill's been playing very well, and they're at home. I feel like I just think they're going to get the victory on this one.
Same here. I don't want to say this, but I think Tannehill is a star in the making. I think Miami will get it done.
He's looking really good.
Seahawks host the Patriots. Seattle's defense is big time, but if Aaron Hernandez is back, it just gives Tom Brady another weapon. I'll go with New England.
Yeah, I'm going New England 100% on that one.
And of course, the last but not least, the debacling Jets. Joke in New York. They take on Andrew Luck and the Colts. coming off an emotional win against Green Bay.
No,
I go with
great
Indy. Andrew Luck is on fire right now. It's pretty amazing if you're an Indy fan. Go from a Hall of Famer in Peyton Manning to a potential superstar in Andrew Luck.
What amazes me was, you saw the score and you're like, I wonder how that game turned out. And you look at the stats and like if you watch the game, you're just like, holy crap, Andrew Luck is freaking amazing. You give him what Peyton Manning had his rookie year, and this is one of the best teams in the league right now. So I'm gonna go with the Colts too. I just don't think the Jets are have it in them right now, and I think Andrew Luck is gonna go on a tear again tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow, Sunday.
All right. Some of the comments from you guys. We asked what do you think will happen Sunday. Laura, who seems to be a pretty big fan on our page, says, "Dare we hope for a victory? I like to be optimistic and say that it will be close, but the Bills will win." Keeping the optimism, Laura. Corrine says, "The Buffalo Bills for sure, of course, woohoo." Rachel says, "We'll see." Susan says, "Think the team collectively have quit on Gailey and Wannstedt." I really don't think so.
No.
These group of guys, for the players who were with Giron, they stuck with Giron.
Yeah.
They really liked them. They fought for him. I don't think they would quit.
I think it's a lack of confidence on their part. I don't think it's anything to do with the coaches. I think it's just like themselves, honestly. I think they're just being like, I can't either, like Ryan Fitzpatrick, when he's throwing these interceptions, these bad passes, I feel like he's just going, thinking, I can't do it right now. I think
this is a very, it could be obviously an obvious statement, but Jeremiah brings up a pretty good point. Hopefully I can watch the fourth quarter this week, all three of our losses. The game was over by the fourth. I mean, that's a tremendous point.
Yeah, I mean, even if I have to see losses, like if I have to see 9 to 10 losses a year, I want them to be great games. I want them to be like the 2010 season. Even when we were losing, it was a great game to watch. It was a football game. It wasn't just like okay, time to turn it off, do something else. It was like fun to watch that season.
Oh yeah. Here's Cole. He talks more about the defense. He wrote a lot on this, but I'll get. He says, "I do like Stephon Gilmore and Darius on the defense." He goes, "I miss Bird." Enough of the negativity. I'm digging our running backs, not in the past two games though. And Scott Chandler is looking like a top 5 tight end, like we just said.
Yeah.
So he goes, "Call me crazy, but this guy is a great tight end."
Mm-hmm. You give him to any team, he's gonna perform well, I think. But anything else you want to add on about this week or just the Bills team in general?
No, not really.
I think we covered what we needed to because basically going into this week, it was basically almost the same situation, I guess, to talk about. So I don't think we really need to go more in depth. I think that people have heard enough and they know what's gonna happen. So. Yeah, Bills at Cardinals, 4:05 kickoff. Let's go Bills, I guess.
Yes, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for your continued support, and as always, we will see you next week.